Hello, 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 and to the show. Welcome.
That's what we're going with, is it?
Yeah. Hey, if it worked for Basil Brush, it'll work for us.
I can't argue with that.
Good.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
And the deranged cat.
Yep.
So if you hear crazy noises, that's the deranged cat. Or Thomas. What have you been up to?
Well, Apple are holding their Worldwide Developer Conference, and the keynote was a couple of days ago.
Right.
They are finally bringing a weather app to the iPad. It still doesn't have a calculator, and anyway, all of this is moot because my device is no longer supported as of this next upcoming version.
Oh, no.
So yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's been 7 years
It has
since
been.
it came out, so very good run.
Uh-huh.
But
What tends to be the death rate after that for apps? Is there the big push for app developers to just change a flag that says it's not supported by, even though it really is?
it depends on what sort of API features that Apple comes out with afterwards.
Right.
Like, for example, I can't do augmented reality on my iPad.
Yep.
And so any apps that focus on that, I can't even download.
Right. Yep. Yep.
I think I should be good for a little bit.
Yeah, I just know that with Android, that there are still heaps and heaps of apps that will still work on, we're up to 13, I think they're about to come out with, 12 officially, but probably 90% of apps still work on 4. So yeah, I was just curious as to, okay, I'm not basing that 90% on anything concrete or any publication, but just from anecdotal evidence, there is still quite a deal of support. I mean, that may well be more to do with the apps that I tend to use and have been favourites of mine since way back when, but they continue to still work on the newer versions of Android.
Did they stop giving Android versions confectionery-based names?
They did indeed. It was a sad day when that happened.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I think possibly hidden away in the code is still the traditional naming conventions, but yeah, I think they ran into problems and saw them running out of alphabet. Possibly. I don't know.
Useful alphabet.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so
mildly good news immediately damped down by bad news.
Uh-huh.
What you've been up to?
What have I been up to? Nothing much.
No.
I got jabbed in the arm rather violently this time. I normally have absolutely no problems with having a vein drained. They're usually very, very good in sticking the needle in. It's usually less painful than the finger prick test that they do to check hemoglobin levels. But yeah, yesterday was... she went in slightly the wrong angle maybe or something, and it just, ow.
Yeah.
And the entire time that I'm sitting in the seat, I'm going, oh, ow, ow. But normally, no, not a problem at all. Other than the deranged cat noises, my tummy is gurgling at the moment. So that's a highlight of the week.
Right.
I've started watching the new season of Stranger Things, and you're absolutely right, it is Stranger Things.
It is. It's more Stranger Things.
Yeah. I think two 2 episodes in, and it's possibly feeling a little stale, maybe. Maybe it'll pick up. I reserve judgment until I've watched it all. And the new season of Orville has started showing on SBS, and the opening episode of the new season was quite a solid episode, so quite enjoyed that. But other than that, no, nothing much. It's very cold at the moment, so walking has taken a back step. Hopefully this front is meant to go away during the week, but we're in for some quite cold for Australia weather.
Yeah.
Around the 0 degrees Celsius at night type of deal, and snow on the mountains, and
apparently things might be collapsing in the Atlantic Ocean, and we might just have La Nina forever. Yeah. That'll be...
Yeah, the climate is stuffed.
Yep.
Good on us. Anyway, other than that, no, got nothing. Nope. So, we have a movie to watch.
We do have a film, and it is in a gold case.
It is a mighty gold. I was not expecting it to come in a gold case. It is a second-hand copy from the US. Actually, it didn't come from the... Sorry, it is an NTSC copy from the US, but I bought it from somewhere on the mainland. Sorry, to clarify, the mainland. We live on an island state of Australia, so the rest of Australia is the
North
mainland.
Island.
The North Island, yes. So it came from up there to down here. Mm-hmm. What is it that we're watching this week?
We are watching Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Would you tell our dear listener what is the lengthy plot synopsis on the back of the case? Hey, I read it last week.
Yeah, you did.
Or tried to. I did a pretty bad job of it.
What price would you pay to have your deepest desires come true? That is the question posed to the citizens of Greentown, Illinois, by a seductive stranger named Mr. Dark, proprietor of Dark's Pandemonium Carnival, a shadowy travelling carnival fueled by the greed of the average man, by the torment of Greams. I was so close.
You were.
I was so close to the end of the first paragraph. A shadowy travelling carnival fueled by the greed of the average man, by the torment of dreams grown old. 2 young boys are intrigued by Mr. Dark's promise of wild animals, the most beautiful woman in the world, and a dust witch, so they decide to investigate. When they realise the carnival's deadly and destructive secret, the boys turn to the town's librarian, Charles Halloway, for help. It is now up...
Cat. Oi.
It is now up to Halloway to save them and all of Greentown from the deadly creatures of the carnival. And then the last sentence is marketing.
Right. Deranged cat, enough of that, please. Cease. Okay, so it's a Disney film that does not appear on Disney Plus. One of a list of many films that...
Ostensibly independent films that Disney distributed, I guess.
No, this was well and truly a Disney film. And when it first came out, it was announced as a Disney film, and a lot was made of the fact that it is quite a dark Disney film, and that may be one of the reasons why they'd rather forget it. It's sort of... No, it was sort of out of the box as far as Disney was concerned then, and very much so now, apparently. I can't remember. I've watched it once. We're going to watch it again. Well, I'm going to watch it again. Thomas is going to watch it for the first time. He's going to take the disc out of its case. He's going to pop it into the machine.
What is that spindle?
Oh, he's just discovered and I think it's slightly broken too, isn't it? Or am I making that up? Maybe it was another one that I got that was slightly broken.
No, it's just hard is the thing.
Yes. He's going to try and take the disc out of its case. He's going to put it into the machine. We're going to watch it, and we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
Got nothing for you.
No.
Mongrel.
Go back to camp.
So, what did you think?
It's a no from me. But so Jonathan Pryce, great performance in this.
Yeah.
And that's about all I have to really praise about the film. It's a bit incoherent. And when it is focusing on one thing, it's not doing it particularly well.
Wow, you really didn't like this, did you? It's, for want of a better phrase, it's a very Jekyll and Hyde thing, in that there are moments where, oh yeah, this is solidly a Disney film, the way that it's shot, and then it veers off into complete non-Disneyness, almost as if to say, right, we're being edgy, but we're not quite sure how to control this. Oh, and it's gone extremely edgy. I can certainly understand why there is possibly no interest in Disney putting this on Disney Plus, because I think there's this attitude of, that's a Disney film from the 80s. I can let the kids watch this, and it is horrific in places.
I would not put it in front of them, not because it would be a problem, but because it's a bad film.
For all its faults, I actually do have a fondness for it.
Right.
Yeah. I think, yes, Jonathan Pryce, a wonderful performance. The kids' performances are great. What's his name?
Jason
Robards. The whole premise of the story was that he felt old and was older than his time, but I think he was almost too old for this. I don't know, but his performance was still good. But having grown up with The Twilight Zone very firmly, it absolutely reeks of being a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
The production values were actually surprisingly good, I thought. Hey, it had a James Horner. As soon as the first couple of wavering violin bits, I think this sounds like James Horner, and I had to look it up, and sure enough, it was. But there were certain shots that would have just been diabolically difficult to shoot. One of them very, very early on in the piece with the a tracking shot of the kids running through the town.
I won't deny that there are occasional moments of good cinematography in the film.
Yep.
But other times it's static shot of some spiders moving about, cut to static shot of some spiders moving about.
Yeah, that was possibly the weakest section of the...
Cut again, more static shots of spiders. We need all of them, all of the static shots of spiders.
I suspect that was very problematic in shooting, in that the kids were probably terrified of having all these spiders around. So it was quite obvious that when all the spiders are moving on the floor, the kids aren't actually there. And so cutting between the fake spiders and the scenes of the...
When there is a spider on a kid, it is some pipe cleaners that have been strung together.
But also when there was quite obviously a live spider on a body, you couldn't see the kid's face. So it was quite obviously not on that child.
And so as a result, that scene entirely loses its effectiveness for me.
Yep.
That could be a very scary scene.
Yeah, and the build-up to it was also quite ominous.
But it isn't a scary scene, because I can see behind the curtain.
Yep. I think your main problem with it is that I never played baseball with you as a child.
No. No, I
didn't.
don't think that has anything to do with it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were agreeing with me there. I thought we had some commonality there.
No. You really want me to like this film more than I do, don't you?
No, I don't. I can fully understand your reaction to it. For me, my main issue is its Jekyll and Hyde-ness with the cute kids, and then the seduction of the barber with the dancers, the belly dancers, to the point where he's suddenly at least topless. And it even suggested he was possibly completely naked, surrounded by these seductrices that were his wildest dream. And it was just, it bounced from really dark to initially quite Disney-esque in The Boy's Own Adventure, but it just got continually darker. Now, the book is very much dark. And Bradbury actually wrote the screenplay to this based on his book, and possibly that's where the all-outness and the discomfort of going all out, that feeling of that was possibly the whole production team trying to serve two masters of Disney and being faithful to the Ray Bradbury vision of it. And I can't see that ever working. One has to give. And so there was that constant tug of war going on. I really loved the pages being pulled out of the book. That effect was done extremely well for the time. I thought it was impressive but subtle as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
It was quite... That whole scene was quite intense. And Jonathan Price's acting there was very much the special effects supported his acting rather than overshadowed it. The only other thing that I've got in my notes. Do you remember watching Thief Lord? A couple of orphan kids running around
vaguely
Venice.
Yeah,
with a guy with the mask with the pointy nose. There was a carousel in that when run at a certain time, it would change a person's age, and so a younger kid hopped on it, wanting to be older than he was. And I'd completely forgotten about that until watching this scene with the carousel in this. And the same premise is going on there, and it I suddenly realised, I think that was a Cornelia Funk, based on a story by her. So I'm wondering whether she ripped off the whole carousel thing, or because it dealt with a carousel making people older or younger.
It feels like something that you could come to independently.
I guess so. All right.
The film that we've just watched, for what it's worth,
yes,
did not do well at the box office, and sort of got mixed reviews. Roger Ebert liked it.
Good old Roger.
For whatever that's worth.
I suspect early reviews would have warned parents that this is a very dark film, and they would have lost a lot of their audience through such reviews. I can see it causing a great deal of controversy through its darkness, and I reckon that would have had a great deal of impact on ticket sales. My love of Twilight Zone, the Twilight Zone concept, has me appreciating it within that realm, I guess. So I liked it more than you. It's certainly not a life-changing experience or anything like that, but I thought very edgy for certainly more. The Black Hole is quite famous for being edgy for Disney, and I think this was far, far edgier than that.
I kind of found it a bit tame, to be honest.
Well, you've just watched Stranger Things, so
yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else you wish to?
No.
You want to move on?
I do.
Let's move on then.
The following segment has no title. We apologise for the inconvenience.
What have we got?
We've basically got a couple of guesses.
Good.
And that's about it.
Excellent.
They're both the same guess.
Are they?
They are both the same guess.
Oh, well, let me... Fortunately, I've started photographing the screen of... before I wipe the file. So, they're both the same.
They're both the same.
So, who has provided these guesses?
We have a guess from Entosferatu,
Hi, Entosferatu.
who only really provides a guess this time, which is okay.
That's fine.
And from Dunkyl over on YouTube,
Hi, Dunkyl.
who genuinely has only provided the guess.
The guess.
And the guess is
Yes?
BLDRNR,
Wow.
which I am led to believe is, in fact, correct.
It is indeed. You both guessed correctly. So, it was BLDRNR.
But I don't think has anything to do with any particular hatred of vowels.
No. Now, this week's one, there's a lot of words there. Something wicked this way comes. Cramming that into 6 letters.
There's too few words. There's only 5 words.
There's only 5 words.
So it's not going to be an initialism.
Possibly not. But we'll see what happens. Feel free to suggest what you think I have selected as the file name for this week's recording, and we'll see what happens next week. All right. So nothing else for this segment. It's going to be a short podcast. That's all right. Cool. Let's move on.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
It's your turn.
It is my turn. And I think I'm gonna do it.
You are.
I think I'm gonna start us on this journey.
This
that
crazy
I've been
journey.
Waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
He's a director.
He is.
Largely comedies.
Yep.
And other lightish drama. Works often with Simon Pegg.
Yep.
For example.
Mm-hmm.
And almost entirely by accident, I want to say, produced a vaguely linked together trilogy of films with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as the stars of each, called the Three Flavors Cornetto Trilogy. So called because each of the films has, at some point, the purchasing or the wrapper or the consumption of one of 3 flavours of cornetto.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The first such film, and the one that we'll be watching next week, is the only one that I haven't seen before.
Okay.
And that is Shaun of the Dead.
Excellent. I say excellent because I have not seen any of these 3 films. I have been interested in doing so, but I never have. So this will be...
And then, a month, 2 months back, let's say 2 months back, I was browsing about, looking for anywhere I might get the trilogy cheaply.
Yep.
Because I have been trying for some time. And then on Fish Pond, which gets stuff from...
New Zealand.
Overseas, various places.
Yep.
And then sends it over after you've purchased it.
Yep.
I found a copy of the entire trilogy on Blu-ray from the UK, going for about $20.
Excellent.
So over it came.
That's a bargain.
Yeah. And no shipping either. Just came over.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a surprise. I was happy with that. And now it's here. And now we can watch it.
Now, the cornettos are the actors and the director are the only thing really linking the 3?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
There's sort of thematic links between them, but...
Yep.
So, Shaun of the Dead, first of these films, is a take on zombie films.
Yep.
Each of the films in this trilogy, sort of a genre film. but as a comedy. But this one, zombie film, and it has a synopsis on the back of the case, which you don't always get from a box set.
Wow. All right. Would you please tell our dear listener what we are in for when we watch Shaun of the Dead?
Life is going nowhere for Shaun. He spends his life in his local pub, the Winchester, with his best mate Ed, has issues with his mum and neglects his girlfriend Liz. When Liz dumps him, Shaun finally decides to get his life in order. He must win back the heart of his girlfriend, repair his relationship with his mum, and face up to the responsibilities of adulthood. Unfortunately, the dead are returning to life and attempting to eat the living. For the newly inspired Shaun, this is just another obstacle. In the face of a full-scale zombie epidemic, armed with a cricket bat and spade, Shaun sets out with Ed in tow to rescue his mum and grudgingly his stepdad, his girlfriend, and even more grudgingly her friends David and Diane, and take them to the safest, most secure place he knows, the Winchester.
Excellent. That sounds fun. That's what we're going to watch next week.
It is.
Shaun of the Dead. We hope that you can join us when we do so. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us, in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
Boom, boom. You
What?
mentioned Basil Brush right at the top of the recording.
Oh. Boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sound check. Sound check.
Sound Slovakia?
Really? All the way over there. Huh.
Well, it is fairly close to the Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah. With my mouth and my throat and my lungs.
Larynx.
I'm not sure that was useful for a sound check.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think that was your natural voice somehow.
Larynx.